Anthony William, medical medium. A couple of things I thought I would just talk about for a moment, if you got a little time, is there's a lot of noise out there. A lot of noise out there when it comes down to healing. And it's really difficult out there for people to find their way because there's so many different flashy objects out there everywhere. Like, do salt in this water, do this apple cider vinegar trick for constipation, do do this colostrum, do this prebiotic, do this probiotic. It's like a whole treasure trove, what it seems like, of miracle cures and miracle fixes, because that's what they claim, miracle cures. And the industry is set up now. It's like a whole bunch of sharks, and it's a feeding frenzy for people who are chronically sick. You can get lost in everything and anything. It's endless, actually. And it's set up in a way so that it's constantly like, try something and then get let down. Try something, get let down, and then you feel like your body failed you. You feel like your life isn't like living like somebody else's life is living. You look around and you see other people, and it's like they seem like they're living their best. And you're trying all these different things, different diets, going back from high-fat vegan to carnivore to Mediterranean, back to carnivore, no grains, no dairy, then you're back to dairy, then you're back on eggs, then you're on chocolate, then you're on alcohol in some form. It could be just in something. And it's never ending. And then it's everybody, who barely got sick is running an ad. Like if you're on YouTube and you just see out there, it's like ad after ad after ad in front of every video in the health world. And it's, try this and in 30 seconds you'll see this. Don't drink smoothies because of that. Watch out for sugar, so try this trick. And you see ad after ad after ad. It's like endless. And I'm Dr. So-and-so, and I'm a chiropractor so-and-so, and I'm a health coach so-and-so. And it's just crazy. But all, when you think about it, though, it's all like quick carpet bagging fixes, right? And people try it all, and then they're still lost. They're still sick. It's not getting rid of their multiple sclerosis. It's not getting rid of their ALS. It's not getting rid of their aches and pains, their depression, their anxiety, their skin conditions, their eczema, psoriasis, all the different problems, their severe fatigue. But it's an endless sea of confusion, like I've always said, and Spirit of Compassion has always said. And then you find medical medium information, and it just makes sense. And sometimes you see the results on your first day when you have your first glass of celery juice, or your second day in your second glass of celery juice. And sometimes you see the results weeks later after you're doing the heavy metal detox. But the one thing about the medical medium information that is very special is that it allows you to have your free will along with your spiritual inner guidance. It allows you to have that and develop that, because there's no classes, there's no courses. It's not like you're paying $3,000 for this superior course of some kind and your health course, and you're like in it, so you pay the $3,000, and now you have to do it. Like you have to. You just try to do everything they throw at you, everything you purchase and they throw at you, and you're stuck in this big course, right? There's nothing like that. It's all free. So it takes like spiritual inner wisdom. It takes like supernatural psychic powers. That's what it takes. Because think about it. If you're going to get rid of caffeine, and you're going to get rid of alcohol, and you're going to get rid of your coffee, your chocolate, you're going to get rid of your eggs, and you learn why. it's not like there's a course or a class you paid $5,000 to where you're like, okay, I better do something here because I just spent $5,000. No, instead, it like takes balls, it takes guts, it takes spiritual wisdom, it takes spiritual strength, it takes psychic ability, it takes intuitive abilities, it takes seer capabilities and seer abilities to push through in the medical medium information, because in the end, it's you. It's you. It's you. It's your fortitude. It's your inner power. And you're like, I'm going to drink this 16 ounces of celery juice. I'm going to start doing the HMDS. I'm going to do the spinach soup. I'm going to do a protocol. I'm going to do a brain shot therapy. I'm going to do the mono cleanse. I'm going to do a potato mono cleanse because I know that feels good to me. I'm going to do this. I'll do a 28-day cleanse. I'll do a 369. It takes something inside of you that isn't out there. Everybody else is just, they're kind of lost and they're just like bumping heads and walking around, and then they see commercials everywhere. And the irony, like the ridiculous commercials out there with the same stuff they've been selling people for 25 years that never worked, like fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, different probiotics. The same crap is this in all of this stuff. The colostrum and so forth is in all this stuff, and collagen and everything else. And it hasn't fixed anybody in the past. It doesn't fix anybody now. Unless you're not really sick, and then you don't know what fixes you because you're not really sick, and you're not getting really any sicker, you're not getting really any healthier. A little bloating, a little bit of acne or something. I'm not saying that's not like small or anything. A little bit of acne is a big deal for a lot of people, but the point is that unless you're somebody that hasn't been on mattress island, hasn't been really sick, hasn't experienced chronic illness, hasn't had a family member experience chronic illness, and you're just working out in the gym and you're trying to better yourself because you're not really sick anyway. So you're taking all this colostrum and all this stuff and collagen and you're doing all these things, but you're not really sick, but then you're out there toting this stuff left and right. And then you get somebody who's really chronically sick in their bedroom is like, oh, I think I need a prebiotic now. I better get that. Oh, I better sign up to this course and take a whole bunch of terrible herbs and alcohol. Or I better sign up to this course and listen to this guy talk about cell detox and talk about, this preacher in the health, world talk about his whole journey, why I buy his $3,000 course. Like, it's different. The medical medium information is so free. It's so transparent. It's you using your free will and your spiritual abilities and the spiritual growth you've had being sick so long. All of it comes together. And when you start doing it and you commit and you're consistent, the miracles happen. There's nothing like it in the world. It's not me. It's Spirit of Compassion's information. So there's nothing like it in the world that has happened. The amount of people, not just hundreds of people healing, not just somebody who put millions of dollars into their advertising, created some kind of class or course. There's some kind of chiropractor or somebody or whatever, ND or PhD. They get a bunch of people in there. They clean them up a little. They get a few results out of a few people, and then they tote it like it's the greatest thing on the planet. Try getting people out of wheelchairs. Try getting people their lives back with 100 symptoms. Everything matters when it comes down to that. Everything. You can't mess up. You can't have mistakes and experiments on people. It has to be right. It has to work. It has to be healing for real. And the amount of people that have healed on medical media, nobody could touch that in the world. That's Spirit of Compassion's information. I mean, not just hundreds of people, not just thousands of people, not just tens of thousands, way more than that. And they've gotten their lives back, and they know it. And they didn't have to buy $5,000 courses. And no disrespect to anybody who sells a course. I don't care. Anybody could do what they want. But the point is, it's the free will of the person, and it's their commitment and their free will and the freedom of that. They're not being like pigeonholed and, and funneled into an assembly line to do some course for $1,000 and you know, they're going through some type of machine. This is machineless. That's what medical meme information is. It's machineless. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. It's something to be proud of. I'm proud of it. It's something to be proud of. It's actually machineless. And medical medium science is unbelievable because science keeps on taking medical medium information. So it's medical medium science in the end. But the amount of people that got their lives back getting off of Mattress Island and Couch Island, and if you're still on Mattress Island, you hang in there and you let that inner guidance, you let that inner knowing and that intuitive ability and that psychic ability, you let that kick in, and you look at the information and you see what stands out. You see what protocol, what herbal protocol, you see what shock therapy, what brain shot, you see what cleanse sticks out. You see what basic, simple, I've seen people with spinach soup, the medical medium spinach soup, whole life turn around, their lives turn around. Unbelievable. And the mono cleanse, potato mono cleanse, or the banana mono cleanse, or 16 ounces twice a day, or 32 ounces of celery juice. What it can do, nothing out there touches it. Hands down, there's nothing that touches it. If there was, I'd be shouting and say, that's amazing. But nothing has. And it's really special, really, really special. But why is it special? Because of the person who's choosing to do it. That's why it's special. That's what makes it so special. Sure. SOC providing this information. I spent a lifetime talking about it and messaging it out there. But it takes the person to be consistent and discipline themselves and to find that inner spiritual strength and find that power that they have and the spiritual growth they've been through with their sickness and their condition and their symptoms. It takes that person's free will, it takes their guts, it takes their strong guts. They have the fortitude and their strength, their inner strength, and they say, you know what, I'm going to do this. And they stay with it, even with the noise around them. And chances are a lot of people, they've seen that noise, they've experienced that noise, they know what that is. Colostrum was around 25 years ago. And 25 years ago, every bedridden person, at least in the U.S., never mind overseas, every bedridden person in the U.S. tried colostrum and bought colostrum. And they made people rich and they stayed sick, bedridden. And this isn't about an anti-colostrum thing. It's just an example, one that just still is around. But people who really get better, who have been really sick, I mean, that is something very, very special. And it takes a very special person like yourselves. It takes very special people to dedicate time and energy and to know what is working for them and to see it and to have patience. That's the other thing too. The medical medium community has patience like no other, out there. And it gets me teared up. It gets me choked up all the time when I think about it. It can't be measured, the amount of integrity and the amount of just good people that are in the community. Just good people. And the body still has to do its daily work just to keep you going. And then healing on top of that takes a lot for the body too. And so people who already are sick, their body's trying to keep them going in the moment every day. And then healing on top of that, it takes a lot. And it just doesn't happen out there from what I've seen all these years and all the stuff that people do. There's a lot of different ads and commercials these days of people who never really got sick at all, and they're just toting something, or they're paid to tote something or whatever, and that's all great and all. But man, when you've been down on your hands and knees and you're praying to God because you think you're going to die and you can't function and you're so fatigued and your brain doesn't work, and you crawl out of that and you use the right things that actually heal and change your life in the course of your life, that is something real, something really, really powerful. And then there's the whole keep learning process. It's all about learning more too, keeping an open mind, keeping the patience and keeping the learning going. Like opening up a medical medium book and seeing info, it speaks differently to you than the last time you might have read it, or maybe you didn't even read that part. And you see the words, they start popping off the page, the living words that are in the books from SOC that change lives. These aren't Eat Better books, you know. Before the medical medium books came out, it was just Eat Better books everywhere. It was just hit or miss. You could eat anything. You could eat eggs and hard cheese. And remember that whole thing? Like hard cheeses, that's what you need is hard cheese. Because obviously processed American cheese was always bad, but everybody knew it was always bad. So it'd be like hard cheeses, that's what you need to eat. It's like hard cheeses? If you're chronically sick and you're eating hard cheeses, this is a nightmare. That's just an example. Or soy. You need to move to soy. Remember the whole soy movement, how big that was? If you guys have been around for a while, do you remember 30 years ago, soy, that was the answer? They kept on saying soy's the answer. It was crazy. They would say everybody's sick in America, but they're not sick in Japan. Really? They're really sick in Japan. It's like they're sick everywhere. It's really interesting how it works. People say each time they open the medical medium books, they learn something new, even if they read it before. And it speaks to them differently at a different time. But I've watched in the decades that have gone by, I've watched the soy movement. I've watched the vegan movement that just went all corn and all soy. That was terrifying. Then the high-fat vegan movement. That was terrible. Then the whole keto movement, the paleo movement, now the carnivore movement. Carnivore is not even carnivore anymore. Carnivore is just a keto diet with some berries in it and some fruits and some honey and stuff like that now and some lemon juice. It's unbelievable, really. But the truth is, everybody's experimenting on so many different things, and that's all fun and that's all fine when you're not really sick. When you're sick, no time to waste. Can't mess around. There's no time to waste. People shouldn't be taken advantage of when they're sick. They shouldn't be thrown off course by a bunch of salesmen. And there's nothing wrong with things being sold. And that's, of course, we need to buy things that are for us and stuff like that for resources and all that. But it's another for people saying, oh, this will fix you. Try this binder and try this charcoal and try this bentonite clay and try this parasite killer and try this wood. It's endless out there. And try the Shilajit and try this ionized water. Just try this pearl powder and try this. It just goes and goes and goes. But when you're really sick, it's like every hour counts. Every day counts. Someone needs to uptick. They need to heal. They need to get better, a little bit better each day. They need to be able to start walking and get out of bed. But it happens by getting the body the things it needs. You know the whole B12 thing? It was the bad B12 out all those years that never got anybody out of bed. Spirit of Compassion never talked about the bad B12 ever. And every practitioner handed out the bad B12 years ago. No one got better. And then I remember in one of the first medical medium podcasts, I'll talk about methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin and how that gets people out of bed. And it's always been consistent, the information. It's always been there for people to heal. They run off course. I get it, the shiny objects out there. It's easy to get thwarted. But there are some really special people in this community that fought for their healing process and seen everything, been there and done that. They are not naive, and they know what it's like out there. Anyway, one day at a time, just a little message for the day. Just know that I care, and just know I'm proud of you guys. I know life isn't easy, you know, and pat yourself on the back when you can. Keep a light heart if you can. You can heal. You can heal. Lots of love. Many blessings. God bless you.